All right, we're approaching the final stretch here at the PSB Tip-Off Classic Tennessee. As we have our first bracket championship webcast here, it's going to feature the West Virginia Thunder taking on Team Tennessee Springer. Henry, we kind of foresaw this matchup possibly taking place over the past couple days. It's finally here. Give us your thoughts coming out.
All right off the bat, number 5, Olivia Minier from Harpeth High knocks down that 3. You're talking about two, just solid teams overall with, star power at the same time. As speaking of star power, Lexi Barrier definitely elevated herself into that realm with a last-second shot in our exhibition game this morning, coming up with that 2-point jumper. But Lily Carter coming off the ball screen. You talk about star power. She's definitely one of those big stars on the floor now. Currently ranked number 10 in the class of 2016. The West Virginia Thunder squad have a number of very solid players, if not star players, that start with Barrier, but most certainly Tara McCutcheon, number 4 in white, already given her verbal pledge to Michigan State University. I'm excited to see how this plays out.
Already off to a good start, 6-2 ball game early on. Some other players for Team Tennessee Springer you want to keep your eye on. Jordan Majors, one of them, as she scores inside, protects that ball away from McCutcheon, who we know has been known to kind of strip a couple balls away from the opponent. And does a nice job of finishing, does Majors. She's number 30, but also number 31, Rayana DeGray, who had a great Saturday. And definitely will be a player that you'll want to watch here in the championship game as well.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, Marcus, because last night, as good as Carter was last night, and as always, it was really the post play for Team Tennessee Springer that got them into this championship game. DeGray inside, you mentioned Majors, but also post play from Lauren Ransom also worked out very well for them and really elevated them into this championship game.
And it really made us think about this matchup. You talked about McCutcheon and Carter. Shayna Harmon, who we see with the floater there, won't go. But also a player like a Brianna Smith, number 20 here for Team Tennessee, who's a player to watch as well. So we know that the guard and the wing side of things, but as far as the post play in the interior, you've got some pieces for West Virginia Thunder in the form of number 32, Eisenman. You've got Sarah Price in there, as well as a couple coming off the bench. It'll be fun to see them match up against the likes of the DeGrays, Jordan Majors, as well as the others.
I'm glad that you mentioned Price and Eisenman both out there on the floor at the same time. Normally, Coach Johnson plays, either one or two of, rarely two at a time. But I think that he noticed that the inside presence for Team Tennessee was going to at least start with 2 bigs to be able to negate that post presence.
As Olivia Minia has her second three-pointer of the game, Coach Scotty Johnson is going to get a timeout. As we've seen Team Tennessee kind of stroke it from the arc here to start off. Minia's second three-pointer. Carter's got one as well.
What you see, at least here early on, is that Team Tennessee has done a good job of getting the ball inside, whether it be, with the post feed or even the drive and then kick out. Coach Johnson right now not really happy with his defensive rotation. You can't give a good shooter like Minier a clean look like that. And as a result, that's why you see her hitting these 2 jumpers in a row.
And we've got an 11-2 ball game, 9-point advantage for Team Tennessee. As you know, it's one of those things to where with this Thunder team and the pieces that they have, we saw it in the exhibition game earlier, solid game from Tyasha Harris of Best Choice. And they actually led had about a 10-point lead throughout that game, but the Thunder, they just keep coming at you in waves and they always put a run together. So the name of the game is not having a good start, but making sure you're able to have an offensive flow of sorts the entire game against a squad like this.
Good point. It doesn't have to be one person each and every time for West Virginia. It could be McCutcheon, it could be Harmon, it could be Barrier, it could be Eisenman, it could be Michelle Johnson with her defense. It's It's really tough to tell with them. They're just such a well-oiled machine.
That shot missed there by Price. Brianna Smith with it up top. She's guarded by Lexi Barrier. Over to Carter. Carter with the take.
Interesting that he started with McCutcheon on Carter. That speaks volumes about Coach Johnson's confidence in McCutcheon guarding Carter. But in that particular scenario, McCutcheon really lunged at the wing, and when you lunge against Chastity Carter, it's too late. She's going to be finishing on you, and that's what we see.
As it's a 13-2 ball game after that Carter bucket, they get it inside to Majors. Majors able to finish.
Boy, when Team Tennessee is able to play inside out like they are right now, it's going to be very good basketball.
McCutcheon looking to get West Virginia Thunder going on offense. She misses that three. Here's DeGrady other way. Through two defenders and the finish. We got a 17-2 ball game. Solid start for Coach Springer and Team Tennessee, to say the least. Hand off to Harmon. Harmon, tough shot. Won't go down. Here comes Brianna Smith the other way. Smith gonna pull up. No good, but Majors with the rebound and finds Smith.
Good job there by, excuse me, that was Jordan Majors with the rebound. And then Brianna Smith, point guard, smallest stature, but like we saw last night, she's not afraid to put her nose, in the lane and finish down there, and she draws the foul on that cut to the basket.
Yeah, in the semifinals, she had plenty of trips to the free throw line. Getting her first trip here in this one. Second free throw on the way. Good to go. A couple substitutions for West Virginia. Into the game, number 12, Michelle Moore. Number 5, Annie Hayton. And number 14, Olivia Secchi. I look for Secchi to be the spark plug she's been for them this entire tournament. Her and the 1-2 punch of McCutcheon to kind of help get things started for the Thunder.
Secchi has drawn the attention of a number of different coaches here this weekend with their play. But Tara McCutcheon continues to turn heads with her ability to knock down shots.
That splash from the corner. That makes it an 18-5 ball game. Barrier a little shaken up on that. Looked like she might have knocked knees with DeGray. Fisher's going to take a timeout as Barrier tries to shake it off. Barrier, a tough cookie, obviously a little shaken up, but was able to kind of get up on her own. I don't know how many times him and you've seen that guy that makes you pray for him if you're in the stands watching because of his reaction and him laying out ball across the floor. And next thing you know, he hops up, jogs up to the bench. Like, come on, man. If you needed a break, man, just pull your jersey, tell coach to give you a blow, man.
Barrier, I hope Barrier's all right. I hope she is going to be able to come right back in there, but she might have a little theatrics to her, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah, I think with Barrier, I think that was really some pain that she just kind of fought through just to kind of get off the court. So credit due to her. She's going to tighten up the shoes and get ready to get back out there.
And it looks like she just turned that ankle a little bit. Got coach right here tying it up real tight. Don't break those laces, though. That would be the worst.
Secchi with the steal for the Thunder. Now they've got it on O. Carly Wilson hands it off to Johnson. So again, we talked about the 1-2 punch of McCutcheon and Secchi. We saw McCutcheon knock down a three-pointer a couple possessions ago. Secchi with the steal and able to take advantage is number 5, Anna Hayden with the bucket.
Good look right there by Hayton. Coming in, being active on the glass. That's exactly what they need from her right now.
If Gray has that shot blocked, they're going to get Hayton for the foul, so that'll send Gray to the free throw line. (19-7) ball game. DeGray makes it 20-7.
Obviously not the start that Coach Johnson wanted from his squad here in this championship game, but we've seen them overcome double-digit deficits before. But a lot of credit goes to Team Tennessee right now. DeGray and Ransom and some of these other post players have done just a fabulous job at taking advantage of their height inside.
McCutcheon, another three-point attempt. That one's no good. Rebound by Carter. Doesn't take her long to get off to the races once she brings the rebound down. And I have a foul there going against the Thunder. Checking into the game, going to be number 11, Casey Hall. Tara McCutcheon is going to get a breather. (21-7) ball game. Brianna Smith turning the corner, pull up in traffic.
She has been so big this weekend. Martin Luther King High School, I believe, from Nashville.
Correct.
There's a lot to like about Brianna Smith, just playing hard. And just making little buckets like that in the lane make all the difference for you.
23-7 ball game. Johnson trying to get that one out to Carly Wilson. Looked like she was fouled on the play. They're gonna get the turnover.
Gotcha. Oh no! They are gonna get the foul.
Airplane twist.
Yeah, I thought that I saw the foul that you saw, Marcus. And
Segi trying to get it in bounds. Finally does so. Gets it to Johnson. Johnson is going to be fouled. I believe it's going to be on the floor. So again, it'll be West Virginia's ball along the baseline. Segi gets it in the hall.
You got to give Team Tennessee a lot of credit with the way that they've defended West Virginia right now. I think that's one thing that we have not mentioned as being one of the big reasons why West Virginia is struggling so much right now is that Team Tennessee is defending their screens. You know, West Virginia likes to set a lot of screens, get open looks for their shooters, but they fought through them and not really giving West Virginia a lot of space or a lot of looks.
Great point. They've also done a pretty good job of limiting their offensive rebounds, but West Virginia Thunder gets one on this possession. We'll see if they can cash in. Olivia Seki with it. Team Tennessee Springers defense everywhere as the recently checked in Lauren Ransom steps up there and helps create that turnover.
Yeah, again, very good defense by Team Tennessee. And on the other end, West Virginia just seems to be a half step slow right now with their defensive screens and hedging on ball screens and such. So overall, Team Tennessee just really coming out playing very well.
They have a 23-7 advantage right now. A couple more substitutions. A few more, actually. Shayna Harmon, number 24, back in the game for the Thunder, as well as number 32, Courtney Eisenman, and number 22, Sydney Holloway. Harmon with it. She's guarded by Lauren Ransom. Off the glass.
They need Harmon to have a big game. She really came out more aggressive, this morning. And that's big for her to get going, coming in on this second rotation of substitutions here.
Ransom going to be fouled. On Ransom out of Pope John Paul II in Antioch, Tennessee.
I look across the way and you see Jason McCutcheon, Taryn McCutcheon's father, sitting front row here at Franklin Fieldhouse, sitting right next to Andrea Carter. We mentioned our previous broadcast at how, McCutcheon's been coming to Peach State events for years, and Andrea, of course, being a longtime Peach State alum and elite basketball academy member. Andrea's, worked with Taryn, one-on-one. I can remember when Taryn was, even a 7th or 8th grader, and Drea was, a junior and starting to get heavily recruited, and they would play one-on-one with one another, much like that, kind of older sister, big sister, kind of feel to it, and just really neat to see how it's all kind of come full circle here with Andrea now watching, Taryn in this game.
Most definitely. That one bounces around and falls for the Thunder. This is now 23-11 ball game.
Harmon again getting into the lane. I like that. I like that with Harmon. She's got the ability to create off the dribble. That mid-range game of hers is really going to be a specialty, but my goodness, what a great pass. We call that a pocket pass, huh? Number 38 for Team Tennessee. We'll have to check on that number here in a moment, not listed on the roster, but great use of the ball screen. West Virginia hedged out a little bit, and they created just a little bit of a window, and she was able to slip it through.
Number 4, Chastity Carter checks back into the game.
(24-11) now in favor of Team Tennessee. And now Team Tennessee going to extend the pressure a little bit right here.
Harmon has it. She got the last couple buckets for the Thunder. The thing about this is right now they're cutting into the deficit a little bit, but also they've got Taryn McCutcheon getting some valuable rest. Meanwhile, Olivia Segi says, hey, rest up. Get a couple electrolytes in you. I've got your back in the meantime. She gets that layup to go, making it 24-13.
Segi may not be the tallest kid on the court, but my goodness, she's got a good burst going downhill. She makes up for maybe her lack of size, if you want to call it that, with just good activity overall.
Yeah. Thunder trying to get a little momentum going in their favor. DeGray inside to Majors. They've done a great job finishing inside this game. That ball is going to be out of bounds. That was a shot attempt by Alexis Allard. Checking into the game for Team Tennessee, number 10, Kennedy Bell. Back in for West Virginia Thunder, Taryn McCutcheon, number 4, and Lexi Barrier, number 15. Lexi a little shaken up a couple minutes ago. Glad to see her back in there. Same spring in the step.
Oh, what a great play right there by Team Tennessee. Maybe West Virginia was a little asleep at the wheel, had some substitutions, didn't get rotated right. But I'll tell you this, that was her go-to baseline out of bounds last night on our broadcast, that little cross screen. And then always looking for the screener. The screener's always pivoting right back to the ball. Very hard to guard, especially if you're a switching team, because it's very easy to get pinned and sealed right there, and Team Tennessee taking advantage of that.
Shot chip to the free throw line makes it a 26-13 ball game. Foul against Team Tennessee. It'll be Thunder ball. 4 minutes, 51 seconds left to play here in the first half. McCutcheon to Barrier. Barrier, that's a good elbow jumper look for. Won't go. Rebound inside by Kennedy Bell.
What can you say about Tara McCutcheon right there? Perfect position defense, gets both hands on the basketball without reaching in, causes the jump ball.
Yeah, we had an all-defensive team for the PSB Tip-Off Classic Tennessee. You got to put McCutcheon on there. Tyasha Harris, she's got to be on there. Harris of best choice. Very impressed with her defense earlier.
I think Barrier's still a little shaken up from that ankle injury. Ball just kind of bounces off right there. Previous jumper was a good look. Just seemed a little bit hesitant. West Virginia going to go to a zone right now.
Nice defense on Carter there. Ball off of West Virginia Thunder. Both Moore and Barrier going after that rebound. DeGray over to Majors. Majors inside to Bell. Bell looking to go to work. No good, but ball last touched by the Thunder. It'll stay with Team Tennessee. Here's DeGray from outside. No good. Strong rebound in traffic by Barrier. Gets it ahead to McCutcheon. Harmon's got Majors on her. We'll see if she tries to use the advantage in quickness. Instead, she kicks it out to Barrier, who dials up a three. Looks like she's got the cobwebs off.
Big shot from Barrier out of the corner. And you're right, bouncing back off that injury well. And notice what West Virginia's doing. This is how they turn the game around versus best choice. Amped up the pressure. They got to be able to rebound out of it. Good put back there by number 30, Jordan Majors.
Majors, the MLK High School teammate of Brianna Smith, who set the check into the game next dead ball. McCutcheon, a three, no good. Rebound by Carter. As we mentioned seconds ago, Brianna Smith checks back into the game for Team Tennessee. She's number 20 in the orange jersey. Jordan Majors scored the last bucket. Trying to get an assist here, kicks it out to Smith. Doesn't take long to make something happen when she checks in. That three-pointer makes it 29-16, or 31-16.
Boy, you've got to like kids that are relatively unknown coming into a tournament and then make a name for themselves on the biggest of stage, and that's what Brianna Smith is doing here today. Her play last night, her hustle, her activity. Off on that one, but making some big shots here today for Team Tennessee.
Ball's going to stay with Team Tennessee. Last touch by the Thunder.
And you'll notice what Chastity Carter is doing. You know, not really looking for her shot all of that much, but that's not what she really likes to do all the time. She makes her teammates so much better. You know, with that pass, even though the pass was errant, or excuse me, the shot was off, she puts passes right on the mark and really does a good job of setting her teammates up. And with that post move right there, that's Rayana DeGray's sister, Rajane DeGray.
Gray with the pull up there. It looked like it was partially blocked. Here's Johnson looking to run. She gets it over to Barrier. Barrier, nice position inside. Make sure she shields Carter off, gets that deuce to go.
Good left-handed finish there versus contact. Hey, West Virginia, though, has got to find a way to turn the momentum of this game. And it really starts with rebounding more than anything else.
Carter, that pass intended for Smith. It's a turnover for Team Tennessee Springer. They haven't done that very much at all here in this game. Number 23, Sarah Price, checks back into the game for the Thunder. 18-33 ball game. just over a minute left to play. First half action. Barrier step back against DeGray. No good on that shot. Rebound by Majors. Smith over to Ronjanae DeGray. She has that stripped away, but who was in there? None other than Brianna Smith to get another one.
Just amazing how sometimes those high energy hustle players just always seem to end up with loose balls. Why is that, Marcus?
They're just there. They don't stop moving. The motor. She has a nice take there, unable to get it to go, and here comes Barrier.
Whoa.
Harmon picks up the pieces. She's just short on the jumper.
And that's a big opportunity missed right there by West Virginia.
And that's going to do it for the first half. It's a 15-point deficit faced by the Thunder. We'll see what Coach Scotty Johnson and the West Virginia representative come up with after halftime. Thanks for joining us here on Prospects Nation TV.
Yeah, I'm about to. Can I get your keys too?
(33-18) ball game. We get ready to start the second half. Marcus Burnett joined by J.L. Hemingway. We get back to championship action here at the PSB Tipoff Classic. West Virginia Thunder in a little bit of a hole here. We'll see if they're able to climb out of it here in the second half. Meanwhile, Team Tennessee Springer starting off the second half on the same note that they finished the first.
Well, you got to give Team Tennessee a lot of credit. Finishing things inside, defending well, and they're doing it with a number of different players. You know, Brianna Smith, you know, here with this jumper. Boy, she's having quite a day, right? And really just taking the air out of the steam, air out of the ball for West Virginia.
Yeah. This is now a 20-point advantage after that Brianna Smith three. McCutcheon up top. Going to be fouled by Smith. Shayna Harmon to inbound the ball for West Virginia. Johnson did a nice job of faking that pass to Harmon. Had a wide open layup, just would not stay down for her. Smith over to Minier, who had a couple three-pointers there in the first half. Smith trying to get her second three-pointer of the second half. Count it.
And her third of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Brianna Smith has really been the difference here in this game. Boy, if she can shoot the ball like this, she's going to earn herself some money. She's just going to mess around and earn herself some scholarship money today, I think.
Putting together a solid game here. Not only is she helping on the offensive end, she's guarding Taryn McCutcheon on defense as well. Now we see her take the pass, drive, and finish inside. Coach Scotty Johnson gets a timeout. We've got a 43-18 ball game. Hemi, how would you summarize why this game has gotten to this point?
Just solid. A solid game. I mean, yes, Brianna Smith has been great, but the post play has been great. Chastity Carter's just kind of done her thing. You wouldn't say that there's just one person that's killed them. It's come from all five positions, and on the other end, it's been all five defenders doing the very same thing. So hats off to Coach Springer and his group. West Virginia just maybe just came out a little bit flat today.
Yeah, Team Tennessee Springer doing a great job. Been one of those instances. It's been a lot more about what they've been able to do right versus what West Virginia Thunder has done wrong. Here's McCutcheon. Gets it over the barrier. Barrier for three. No good. Rebound by Carter. Gets it ahead to Miniat. Miniat to Majors. Layup drilled here for Team Tennessee Springer. 45-18 ball game. Nice play right there. Barrier catches it. Can't finish, but she's going to be fouled. If you're the Thunder, the more you can score with no time running off the clock, the better here. Barrier misses the first free throw into the game for the Thunder. Number 14, Olivia Segi. Number 11, Casey Hall. And number 32, Courtney Eisenman. Barrier makes the second.
Sideline break. Everything is running on all cylinders here this afternoon for Team Tennessee. It's the old free throw break. Coach Johnson, I know, is just shaking his head right now. And sometimes you just see this happen, unfortunately for a team. It can happen to the best of them, but McCutcheon's not about to give up.
Not at all. Gets the steal there, drops it off for Segi. Segi can't finish. Here comes Tennessee Springer the other way. Carter, no good on that shot, but Majors. This core of players inside for Team Tennessee Springer. And Jordan Majors, Rihanna DeGray, Ronjanae DeGray, Kennedy Bell coming in, Alexis Allard. I mean, it's hard to find an interior core that's been more effective than they have really up to this point here in the spring-summer season.
I couldn't agree more, Marcus. Yes, I have seen better post players. No doubt.
To 49 ball game. Three-pointer on the way. 14 Tennessee Springer. It's missed. Eisenman with the rebound. Gets it over to McCutcheon. McCutcheon for three. Off the back of the rim. Carter with the long rebound. Able to wrestle it away. It's going to be a foul. I believe it's going to go against Olivia Segi.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I finished my thought. Yes, I've seen better post players individually, but collectively,
Yeah.
I can't say that I've seen a lineup of 3-4 post players all in a row that have played as quality together as Team Tennessee.
Definitely. It's been that kind of game for the Thunder. Not like they're off on the shot. Some of these shots just won't stay down on the rims, but we've been able to see that for all of the teams throughout this tournament. So definitely not making excuses for the Thunder, but sometimes you just have those shots to where they won't stay down for you. It's frustrating, but just got to try to continue to fight hard, try to make up for it. Which is what the Thunder program's trying to do right now as they trail 21-49. Harmon over to Hall. Hall just short.
I think more than anything else, though, we've got to credit Team Tennessee. It's just their defense. Coach Springer obviously had a very good defensive plan in place. You hear him over there, you know, tell them, hey, switch the flares, you know, be aware of the slips. And now you're forcing West Virginia to make that second and that third read, even fourth read. And quite honestly, by the time you get to that, well, there's a lot of chances for mistakes that can happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, Team Tennessee, on the other hand, they're just out hustling them, getting, rebounds, second shots, if just not out muscling them. So hats off to Team Tennessee thus far.
Say, have a jump ball there. It'll go to Team Tennessee. Good defense there by Olivia Segi. Slips out of bounds there trying to save the ball. Nice defense there by Segi, the junior out of Morgantown High School. Ranjanae DeGray trying to work inside. Nice defense by Eisenman. Ransom no good on her attempt, but third time's a charm as Ranjanae DeGray continues to work. Chance to get the three-point play the hard way.
I'm sorry, Marcus.
No problem.
I see why Coach Johnson originally came out with the two-post system. You know, unfortunately, he's had to go small now with 4 guards. But, you know, when you go 4 guards, you're trying to speed it up. But if you don't get that turnover pretty quickly, you're going to get exploited. And the 4 position for them has been a big problem.
Harmon no good on that three-pointer. Steal by Johnson. Johnson to Segi. Segi with the baby jumper. Count it. It'll make it a 23-51 ball game. Team Tennessee Springer to get it in along the sideline. They get it into Ranjanae DeGray. Nice defense there. But it looks like the ball is going to go off the leg of Courtney Eisenman, so it'll stick with Team Tennessee. Checking back into the game, number 10, Kennedy Bell.
Look at this.
Feed it inside the Ransom. She's blocked the first time, not on the second.
They've just done a fantastic job of sealing and looking inside. You know, and normally you talk about, you know, number 10, you know, prospect in the nation, you know, being a small forward, shooting guard with Carter. You normally would see her shoot a lot of shots, but they have just been very determined to punch it inside, and it's probably going to pay off with a championship victory here.
Shayna Harmon knocks down that one for the Thunder. As they crank the defense up, Michelle Johnson with another steal here. A little bit too far ahead for Harmon. Couple substitutions in for the Thunder. Number 23, Sarah Price. Number 4, Taryn McCutcheon. As they're still playing this game to win it. Continuing to compete. Ransom drops it, picks it up, takes the jump shot, no good. Wrestles her own rebound away. She'll get a trip to the free throw line. Eight minutes, 10 seconds left to play in this one. No good on the first free throw.
Yeah, Marcus, it's been just a fantastic weekend here at Peach State basketball. Inaugural weekend for this tournament, Tipoff Classic Tennessee version. Not only have we had 120 schools down in Atlanta, but we've also had 40 up here, and we've had dozens of colleges and universities that have come in to watch games today. Head coach Melanie Balcom down there on the baseline from Vanderbilt University checked in with us today. Assistant coach from Florida is here. Coach Woods from Charlotte. Nearly the entire coaching staff of Marshall has been posted up on that baseline. So when you look and talk about the exposure that a lot of these kids that are getting, it's been very quality and a success overall.
Karen McCutcheon goes to the free throw line, and I think one of the things you can appreciate not only from these West Virginia players, but also the perspective of Coach Scotty Johnson is that, hey, you know, look, we're down. They're playing well. We're going to continue to fight. Secondly, he hasn't forgotten about that back row of coaches that are here to be able to see his players and prospects play. So, you know, you don't see any body language or any, you know, defeated attitude here by the Thunder as they continue to fight.
That was my decision.
As McCutcheon misses that second free throw.
Hey, Scott. Scott, I'll take it.
Hey, scramble.
It'll be Team Tennessee's ball out of bounds.
Who's rotating?
Pass intended for Carter. She can't keep it in bounds, but is able to save it. So that foul is going to go against McCutcheon. It's going to send number 10, Kennedy Bell, to the free throw line. No good on the first free throw is Bell. As Lexi Barrier checks back into the game, Casey Hall is going to have a seat. Nice to see Barrier not showing any effects from being a little shaken up earlier. Actually might have tweaked her ankle a little bit, tightened the shoe, got right back into it. Johnson to Barrier. Kicks it out to McCutcheon. McCutcheon for three. A pass intended for Sarah Price inside. Alexis Allard able to steal it away. Carter too strong on the two-pointer. Barrier short on the three-pointer. Another rebound for Carter. That pass intended for Rihanna DeGray. Knocked out of bounds by the Thunder, so it'll stay with Team Tennessee Springer. 25-55 ball game. 6 minutes, 30 seconds and counting left to play here in the second half. Gray going to be fouled inside, and again, I mean, they're not deviating from the plan, this Team Tennessee Springer. They've been the same way throughout this entire game, Henry.
Yeah, look, it's not a bad game plan either when you talk about go inside, power basketball. Punch it inside, draw fouls, get to the free throw line. And a West Virginia Thunder team that, quite honestly is pretty guard heavy. Now they do have, size inside with Sarah Price and also, Courtney Eisenman as well too. Unfortunately, they just outnumber them, Team Tennessee has. And so their inability to rebound from the guard spot, from the forward spot has really been highlighted today.
As Rihanna DeGray shows some of that versatility that we saw in the semis yesterday with her knocking down a few three-pointers. Knocks that one down as well. Post might be the primary function, but she shows she can step out and knock that shot down as well. Harmon, I really liked her mid-range game here throughout this event. Steal by McCutcheon. I probably said that about 20 times here this weekend. She finishes there with the layup.
Now all defensive team. All defensive team, and don't sleep on her athleticism.
Yep.
She's quick, good in the passing lanes just as much as any.
But we've got a full timeout. We'll take a break with them. When we get back, we'll bring you the final 5 minutes of this matchup here, West Virginia Thunder versus Team Tennessee. Ready to resume play from the timeout. Thunder back out on the floor. They've got number 4, Taryn McCutcheon, 24, Shayna Harmon, number 14, Olivia Segi, 15, Lexi Barrier, and number 32, Courtney Eisenman. Tennessee Springer with Chastity Carter, who has the ball right now, over to Brianna Smith. Olivia Miniat, who really helped start the game off with a couple three-pointers for Team Tennessee Springer. And last but not least, number 44, Alexis Allard, also out there on the floor. Smith to DeGray. Carter wants the ball in the post. McCutcheon's all over it.
I mean, at some point you just have to realize that she keeps making plays not because she's lucky, but because she's good. And she's making plays not only because she's good, but she's smart, in the right position, and she is going against one of the better athletes in 2016 in Chastity Carter. She just fought over the top of that post up and stole a post entry pass. So you could say it was a bad pass, this and that, but she really had to work to get that.
Yeah, anybody that tries to discount her prowess on defense, labeling them delusional will probably be on point. You look at the players she's guarded. You mentioned the likes of Chastity Carter, who she's matched up with in this game, but again, was just very impressed with the way she played against Tyasha Harris. Harris still had a good game, but there were still a lot of plays to where you know, McCutcheon, if you were asleep on her, you definitely were woken up by the end of that game.
Yeah, you're right.
Our next webcast will feature the Alabama Roadrunners taking on Tennessee Flight. Actually, correction, that's going to be the Arkansas Hoopsters taking on Tennessee Flight. Apologies to the Hoopsters.
Arkansas Hoopsters, Tennessee Flight Navy, I believe is the proper team there.
Smith over to Miniak. Miniak good on the floor. Harmon with the floater of her own.
She's been good in that mid-range.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, just hadn't been enough of it today.
She gets the steal, misses that jumper. Carter gets rid of it. Smith to Allard. Miniak gonna try a three-pointer. That's no good. Rebound by Barrier. Barrier's going to be fouled there. Checking into the game, number 22, Sydney Holloway. Here's Segi. Gets it to Hayden. Hayden trying to split through. She's going to be fouled on that attempt. Going to go against Allard. So the Thunder will take it out of bounds. Harmon for three. Misses that three, but comes back, gets the steal. Gets it over to Segi. Segi with the layup.
Coach Springer just over there yelling, pass, 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 and they break that pressure. Lots of credit to Coach Springer and his club here. You know, we saw earlier just how effective the West Virginia Thunder pressure can be, you know, when you don't handle it correctly. They didn't try to break it with the dribble, but they just kept breaking it with the pass. Excellent job.
Tough shot right there, knocked down by Harmon. Continues to fight, but couldn't agree with you more about the job that Team Tennessee Springer has done. You know, we referenced that earlier matchup, the exhibition game between West Virginia Thunder and Best Choice, where the Thunder trailed by 10 at numerous points throughout the game, but were able to mount a comeback using that pressure to kind of crank things up. And they did that same type of cranking of the pressure against Team Tennessee Springer. They met it with a totally different response, and like you said, got to give credit to the team ball that they played and also the coaching by Coach Springer to be able to make sure that they responded well to that pressure.
And again, it was a total team effort because it took handling and it took rebounding. It took inside out, and they were able to do it on both sides. So hats off to them. Well-deserved championship victory today.
Segi. Maybe a Segi who's had a very productive weekend here. Turned some heads in the process. Knocks down that three-pointer. Colin Springer swings that ball over to Morgan Beck. Back to Majors. Majors looking inside for Ransom. It's poked away by Sydney Holloway. And here comes Casey Hall. Holloway wants it inside, going against Majors. Got her in the air. Up and under is just short. Shots off. Rebound and put back there by number 22, Lauren Ransom. Casey Hall for three, no good on that shot. Rebound by Colin Springer. Foul against Segi. 31.2 seconds left to play in this one. As this West Virginia Thunder team playing until there are 3 zeros on the clock. Trying to go inside there as that shot blocked away by Anna Hayden. Segi to Carly Wilson. Wilson misses. Fighting for her own rebound. She gets it. Back out top to Hall. Holloway gonna try a three. And that is going to do it. So, champions of the PSB Tip-Off Classic Tennessee version is going to be Tennessee Team Springer. They played a great game against a very talented West Virginia Thunder program. Thanks for joining us here on Prospects Nation TV.